As to what caused someone to blink or everyone to blink, a lot of people are reading Democrats potentially worried that this could be one problem for them, and worried more about tax cuts that are looking to get more favorable reviews and to get more optimistic views at that on the part of the American people. Former Bush 43 Press Secretary Ari Fleischer on that. What gets either side to blink in the course of this?
If they both think it's not working for them. If the political pressure comes on that neither party feels, well, this is an absolute win for us, we're crushing the other side, it makes people compromise. But you know, Neil, the congressman is 100% right. The House passed 12 appropriation bills. The problem now is the filibuster in the Senate. When I worked in the Senate would pass the individual appropriation bills. This never happened. They never filibustered every single bill, regardless of who was in the minority, to force a huge fight over one bill needing 60 votes. Get rid of the filibuster in the Senate on appropriations.
Well,
this has got to stop.
Wish for, though,
I do wish for it.
Let's say it were to end now and Democrats take control.
Fine. It's called majority rule.
Okay.
And that's the decision the electorate makes. When the electorate says we want a Republican or Democratic Senate, they should be empowered to have...
So the supermajority that sort of treats the Senate differently is not good enough.
No, I've never supported that, frankly. Okay. I said that when Barack Obama was president, that they should get rid of the filibuster as well. I'm consistent on it. It started out in history when the Senate was a couple dozen senators, 3-4 dozen senators. You had 100%. There was no filibuster. Yeah. Everybody could talk forever. So everybody could filibuster, in other words.
All right, well, that's what the president wants to see. Again, it doesn't look like Mitch McConnell will blink on that. Mitch McConnell might have proven very instrumental on this particular issue by promising and apparently spelling out to some, I don't know everybody, I don't know the details of the plan. Yes, we'll take up immigration reform. Yes, we'll take up DACA. First of all, reopen the government. But they want to go, that is, Democrats want to go on more than his word, right?
Well, and in government, all you can have is the word of the other person. Yeah. And typically that does hold up. If that's broken, then everything's broken. Nothing can be fixed.
So you think he would honor that, come up with something in a few weeks?
He would, and Schumer wouldn't accept it if he didn't believe that was the case. That is the glue that holds the Senate and the House together. But the biggest hurdle you're going to have here, even if it passes with 60 in the Senate, is the House. Yeah. The House is not a carbon copy of the Senate, and the Senate shouldn't be a carbon copy of the House. They might just be
wincing at just some of the provisos here to make sure this does pass. The Senate goes back to them. You know.
Well, what's interesting to me is this clean. What the House passed included CHIP funding and included other things. Is the Senate going to send that back to the House? Of course, it opens the government until February 8th, but if it's clean, it might be a little bit harder to pass in the House. I don't know what this is going to do in the House.
What's your reading of the political tea leaves on the tax cuts? Because when they first came, tilted to the rich, tilted to companies, then companies began sharing the wealth because they really did get a good deal. So it went beyond just shareholders. All good for them, but I think it surprised a number of Democrats. I was raising it this weekend in Washington with a number of my Democratic guests who were surprised that these bonuses were happening and all that other stuff. What do you think?
You know, it distresses me because for decades, the Democrats have decried capitalism and success as trickle-down, and they mock it. But if you've been around the private sector, you know it cannot work that way. It must be good for the employees. If it's not good for employees, it's not good for employers. So it didn't surprise me at all that the wealth is being passed on.
Provided temporary tax relief for companies. The rap against it, and companies are free to do with their money whatever they want, is that they just poured it into their stock, and the shareholders benefited the markets, benefited those companies, benefited those shareholders. But
Bush didn't cut the corporate tax rate from 35 to 21 the way this did. Much different.
So you think that this now has compelled these guys to do more?
But I also want to point out between 2004 and 2007, after the corporate cuts were put in, not corporate rate cuts, but dividend cuts, by Bush, the economy boomed in excess of 3 percentage points from 04 to 07. So there's a history here of these things creating growth.
This is very big, much bigger percentage terms.
That's correct, and that's why I expect more growth and more pay raises for workers.
In enough time that those workers then think twice about heaving Republicans out?
I think they're already thinking twice. When you look at the turnaround in public polling on how the tax reform is being received, when people hear 2 million people getting bonuses, and I think minimum wage going up to $15 naturally, not by dictator law. I think this is going to continue, and it's going to result in actually permanent wage increases because the labor market is so tight. Everything is set up right to benefit America's workers,
you think
and it's
the
their
president
turn.
benefits more from this? I mean, he should. Now, a lot of people say he gets in the way of his own message, but it is a conundrum. It's a weird thing.
I've got a football analogy for the president, and that's he makes so much progress driving the ball down the field, but then he keeps getting unnecessary roughness penalties and moves back. And it's because of his tweets. It's because sometimes his excessive language. He hurts himself, and he makes himself too hot to handle. If the focus was on his policies, the laws, and the things that have been done, the accomplishments, the president would be in great shape. He needs to cool it, and then things are going to turn around for him, too, personally.
All right. Always good seeing you again, my friend.
Thanks, Neil.